As stated by several of the malignant narcissist experts and counselors, these types of narcissists do horrible, disgusting things to their victims and children. Dad was severely alienated from 2 of his children, and Mom tried several times to alienate Dad from me. I saw the awful things she did to Dad and knew that his being kicked out was not his fault. Her tactics didn't work on me. She probably convinced my brother to alienate me after he graduated from college. Who knows what she made up and told him. I think she felt that he needed my companionship and help through college. After he graduated, Mom didn't want me to have close contact with Dr. Roger, so that I wouldn't see that he was continuing to do nothing other than victimize women. Laurie didn't have much contact with the family after she had her temper tantrum when she was 13. She self-alienated from the family at that time. But Mom definitely didn't want Dr. Laurie or her kids to see Dad later in life. There is no question that she tried to alienate us children from Dad and was successful with my sister and brother. In this next clip, Dr. Laurie says Mom says Dad hasn't been there for us, but she doesn't feel that way. She didn't want to go hiking and shooting with Dad and hasn't seen him all these years. That doesn't make sense and is basically ludicrous. Why wouldn't she want Dad to see her kids and spend time with him later in life? Dad did a lot with us kids besides hiking. I doubt he ever asked Laurie to go shooting. He only took me shooting a few times and was very strict on gun safety and proper handling. Mom definitely lied to 2 of her children about Dad to alienate them from him. In this conversation, Dr. Laurie is buttering me up, so I will be trusting of her when she kills Dad and helps steal 3/4 of Dad's estate from me.
All right. Well, I'm definitely willing to help. I mean, Mom made a comment about something about how he's never been there for us, but I don't really feel that way. I mean, I kind of started like when I became a teenager, I kind of lost interest in doing the stuff that he was doing with us, like, you know, going hiking and shooting and those kind of things. So I think it was more my decision to stop doing stuff with him.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have any hard feelings against him or anything. I just haven't been close with him all these years. But I don't begrudge him or anything. I'd be glad to help him in any way.
Yeah.
Yeah, hasn't seen him all these years because she didn't want to go hiking and shooting with Dad, which he probably never asked her to go shooting. It's just something she can throw in there to sound unappealing to her. Okay, in this clip we were talking about Dad's lack of energy, and I mentioned that Dr. Roger deals with it a lot. He doesn't do much other than watch videos. Dr. Laurie brings up Dr. Roger's Craigslist business, and that he has dozens of things posted. I have been to Roger's a couple times recently, and I state that I don't know where he keeps it. During Roger's 16 years of college partying, I visited Roger regularly. Generally, at that time, I would stop by. Roger would get up from sleeping and get a snack. He would tell me about his adventures with women from the weekend, then he would go back to bed. Since Roger's fake Craigslist business had come up often at family meals, I would look around his condo after he went back to bed. There was never any inventory anywhere in his house. I checked his basement, which was full of workout equipment, and had a few boxes on the shelves. The stuff in the boxes never changed. They were his things that he was keeping there. Over his 16 years of college, he never had any inventory. I just let Mom and Roger talk about Roger's fake Craigslist business at dinner. I figured it was a story to keep Joe from getting upset that Roger never does anything. There was a couple times that I announced that Roger does not have a Craigslist business, as he never has any inventory. Joe didn't really seem to get upset, and Mom would launch on some stories about what he had, so I just dropped it. Interestingly, both times that I made that statement, the following week, when I stopped by, Roger had a prop by his back door. One was a sweeper that Roger said some guy was going to come pick up. It looked like something that Mom bought at the thrift store to use as a prop for his fake business. Other than the 2 times that I complained, there was never anything there. Never. Of the hundreds, thousands of times that I've stopped by his place. Basically weekly, from 1987 to 2003, maybe a little beyond that, so however many times that is. But I stopped by weekly. Some years it wasn't the same day of the week. It was just sometimes very random. He would be asleep, tell me the stories of his week, and go back to bed, and I'd look around and there was nothing. So, other than the 2 times that I complained, there was never anything there. Probably Roger's previous neighbors could be located and asked if Roger had a constant stream of people coming in to buy stuff. To report the amount of income that Roger reported, he would have had to have a huge number of sales. I imagine at that time, and at the time of this recording, Mom had gone to thrift stores and bought a bunch of stuff that they took pictures of, then took back and donated to the thrift store. Donations are a tax write-off for Mom and Joe with their massive income. Dr. Laurie mentions that Dr. Roger is selling jewelry and trinkets. Where did he get all that stuff? The story in college was that Roger was pulling stuff out of dumpsters and selling it. Are people throwing away jewelry and trinkets? Is Dr. Roger climbing inside the dumpsters and rummaging all around the bottom of the dumpsters, through the muck, to find these little trinkets that fall to the bottom of the dumpsters? It all sounds pretty far-fetched to me.
Yeah, I don't know. There seems to be some genetic lack of energy that...
Yeah.
I think Roger deals with it a lot, and Dad...
Mm-hmm.
I mean...
Yeah.
I think Roger lives a similar lifestyle to Dad. He doesn't really do much, but I think he sleeps a lot. I really don't know what he does. I know he watches a lot of videos. He's mentioned that.
I think he probably spends a lot of time posting stuff on Craigslist. He's got dozens of things posted right now.
Does he?
And they're long, because he sent me a message before Christmas with probably at least 20 attachments, or not attachments, but links where I could see if the kids wanted anything that he was selling. And there was some jewelry and I don't know, just little trinkets and stuff that he thought the kids might be interested in. But I said, gosh, you have and he goes into great detail on each item, and so I know he spends a lot of time on that stuff.
Oh, okay.
But then, so I said, gosh, you have a lot of stuff posted. And he said, oh, well, that wasn't even a tiny fraction of what I have posted, or something like that.
I don't know where he keeps all this stuff, because I don't ever see it.
I don't know.
It's not out anywhere.
He must have it organized somehow. But none of it was real big stuff. It was little things, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, at least he does something.
Yeah. And he said in his Christmas card, he said he makes more money doing that than he did for what he got his degree for.
Well, I think you could make more money with his degree, but...
Right.
Oh, well. That's what he enjoys doing. You have to decide, I guess, what you want.
Yeah. I honestly don't know how he can stand that. Because he's, if people are coming over to buy stuff all day long, that would be a pain. Plus all the people that don't show up, and,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want that.
Yeah, there's no way Roger could tolerate that. He has no patience for waiting for people. One example, when we were doing Dad's garage sale, selling off Dad's items from his estate, there was a box of well-organized, a bunch of time had been put into it, CDs and DVDs. There were over 300 of them. Some of them were new in the package, brand new in the package, and at that time they were worth quite a bit of money. I think with taking a little bit of time, they could have easily gotten $5 a piece out of them. They were probably 20, or some of them more than that, per at the store. He had them still in the wrapper. He hadn't opened them. I mean, now CDs aren't worth anything, but Roger didn't even want to mess with it. Some guy was looking at it and asked if he could get a deal if he bought several, and Roger just said, I'll sell you the whole thing for $300. $1 a CD. Putting no effort into it whatsoever. So there's no way that Roger would be spending all his time meeting people at his place, selling trinkets and making any money at all. It's crazy. In this part of the conversation with my sister, we are discussing the logistics of our meal out with Dad. This is a family meal that Dad was very excited about. Dad had not seen my sister, brother, or mother for many years, so he was pretty excited about this. So, we're discussing the logistics, and Dad takes his dog everywhere with him. Last fall, Dad's brother Larry, Dad, and I went out to eat as usual. Larry and I have gotten together for the past 30 years when he was on his way to or from Florida. It would have been normal for Larry to stop at my place the next year on his trip back north and spend the night. Sadly and inexplicably, Larry didn't stop or contact me. In fact, I never saw him again. During the next few calls he accepted from me, he was distant and brief. He survived cancer for 3 more years before he died, but I never saw him again. In one of the few calls of mine that he accepted, he said very accusingly that I had never visited his sister Dorothy. In reality, I had visited her several times, either before or after I visited Larry, because they lived in the same state. I have pictures of her and her property during my several visits with her. I have a few pieces of evidence that show that Dr. Roger visited Larry 2 days after Dad's death. Roger, who's had no contact with Dad's wealthy brother Larry, visited him 2 days after Dad's death, when there's no chance that Larry could ask Dad if, what was going on? Is this real? I can't believe this. What are they saying about Steve? And they want to make sure Dad was dead before they contacted Larry. So, yes, he visited Larry 2 days after Dad's death, after not seeing him and no contact with him for 40 plus years. I will turn this evidence over to law enforcement.
Yeah.
If we met Bill, Mom wouldn't have to do quite so much driving. She could
Yeah.
to his place, just bring him to Bill and just take him back home.
Yeah.
I could go over and pick him up. The downside to all that is that he doesn't like leaving his dog at home, so I don't know what we're going to do about that, but maybe the dog can stay in his car.
Uh-huh. Why can't he leave it at home?
Oh, he just never does. The dog has to go everywhere.
Mm.
Larry and Dad and I went out to lunch or dinner this fall when Larry went to Florida, and we did leave Sam in the car. So if I went over and picked him up and brought his Jeep with him in it, Sam could take his Jeep. So I'm willing to do that. I don't know if Dad will leave the dog at home, but
yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
In this portion of the conversation, Dr. Laurie and I are talking about nursing homes and what happens to a person's property when they go in permanently. Dad will likely need nursing home care in the future. I state that I'm open to Dad's house going into any one of us siblings' names. I mentioned that maybe Mom can get Dad to transfer his house and take care of what is necessary if she is willing to do that. At this point, I have complete trust in Mom and my sister and brother. I don't see Dad needing a nursing home on a permanent basis anytime soon, since I did mention that the property needs to be in someone else's name for 3 to 5 years. At this point, Dad is still taking long walks with his dog Sam on a regular basis. This conversation is a few months before Dad's untimely death.
I don't know.
I mean, because don't you pretty much have to liquidate everything, though, if you do go into a nursing home?
Right. I mean, I've tried to talk him into putting his house into somebody's name, Roger's or yours or somebody's, but he doesn't seem to want to do that. And there's like a 3 or 5 year, I'm not sure, but something like 3 to 5 years that has to be in someone else's name before you can go into a nursing home and not lose it. Otherwise, you pretty much lose everything. The state, sells your house, and all your belongings, and that goes to help take care of you in the nursing home.
Yeah.
So, not that that's a really big deal, but if someone had his house and he went in a nursing home and got better, at least it would be available potentially for him to move back into.
Right. He won't do that, huh?
He's a bad procrastinator. I know you'll find that surprising.
Yeah.
As many times, I've suggested it several times, and I mean, if mom gets in there, I mean, that's a possibility, depending on how much effort mom's willing to put into it. I know that they have meals on wheels available, and he doesn't take advantage of that because he doesn't want to call. But if mom gets in there and does that, and she starts pushing him to get his house transferred or whatever needs to be done, I think he goes along with it. But he just needs a cattle prod, and mom could potentially do that if she has time. I know she worries a lot about camp and all.
Yeah.
All of these clips with my sister are from the same conversation. She really only invested the time of one conversation with me, other than going out to eat, into this whole effort of theirs to steal Dad's estate from me. Anyway, this conversation occurred on January 16th, 2016, so about 5 months to the day before Dad's death. Anyway, in this clip on January 16th of 16, which was about 4 months before Dad's death, 4 months, we are discussing straightening up Dad's house. I ask if Laurie's son Michael would be interested in helping. Laurie says yes, and that he will be graduating high school next week. This is important because it validates the timing of this conversation. Again, this and all recordings used have time and date stamps on them, but this statement and others will confirm that the date and time and date stamps are correct. Michael doesn't know his grandfather. Laurie says, "Interesting," at the end of this clip. Dr. Laurie actually doesn't want Michael to meet Dad. She has given her kids some excuse all these years for not meeting or getting to know their grandfather. And Michael will find out that these excuses are not true and that Dad is actually a really nice, intelligent, and good person.
Do you think Michael would be interested in helping out with a project like that, or?
Yeah, he would.
I mean, like,
he's gonna be done with high school here next week. He's graduating early, so
that's perfect. We can just give him some work for 6 months.
Yeah, right. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think she has too much interest in that, from the sounds of it. In this clip, Dr. Laurie is fishing for information and asks me about a friend of Dad's that there is no way she would know anything about. Keep in mind that at this point, Dr. Laurie, in her words, hasn't had anything to do with Dad all these years. Likely Dr. Roger asked Dad about any friends he had at one of the 2 times that he visited Dad recently. Dad probably mentioned Sue, and they have decided that they need more information about her.
Plus, whatever happened to his, didn't he have a lady friend that was nearby, too, that sort of looked after him?
I'm not sure. His next door neighbor he kind of got along with, but then they had a falling out, and I don't know where that's at this point.
Was that a woman?
Yeah.
What was her name?
I think I have it on my phone.
Wasn't there like I thought there was somebody that was a name that was familiar to us, like a Sue or a Diane or something like that.
Yeah, Sue used to work for me at collect money. I think I was on Friday nights, and she doesn't really live that close. She lives in, and she would be happy to help Dad.
Yeah, that's a very strange question for my sister to ask me about. There's no way that she would know about Sue. Absolutely no way. This is before we even went out to our family dinner where she could have possibly heard about it. So, my brother and possibly mother, I don't know if Mom's called Dad at this point yet or not, but they're fishing around trying to get information of who they need to tell whatever lies to, and this is part of that.